The Square Ball Podcast.
Welcome to the show. It's Dan here on the Square Ball Update with Michael and with Rob. So off the back of the Norwich game, everyone's injured, but we're not sure yet how badly, thinking specifically of Gruevs. Farke's not a fan of the freebie market. The women's team went out of the cup to Borough. The kids beat Spurs, and it was funny, and then went on to beat Boston in midweek in a new one. It was a weird, strange cup competition, the likes of which we've never seen before. Then on Friday night, we head for Sunderland. Where do you want to start?
Injuries, I suppose. Start with a bad bit.
Well, Solomon's fit, isn't he? I heard on the grapevine.
Really wish I mentioned that on the match ball.
Stupid intel.
I heard a daft little tip, didn't I? It was wrong.
He's probably, in fairness, given his record, he probably was fit and now he's injured again.
Yeah, it's a new one. Fair point. Michael, if I may, actually, I would like to just dive straight into the mailbag here and just tie up something from the Norwich game, and specifically Josh Sargent. Obviously, presumably when he swooped down like an eagle, like an American eagle, and smashed home that freedom penalty, that was like a dagger through the heart to you, because you've got a rampant anti-American agenda.
Indeed.
You actually genuinely don't really like Josh Sargent.
No, it's not that I don't like him. I just don't think he's very good. Right. And some people have been really cross in the past because I've said that. And I still don't think he's very good.
Because there's the one guy who keeps getting in touch with you. Did he email you?
He didn't this time around. Before the playoffs, he's weirdly sort of half a Leeds fan, but then seems to just like Americans footballers too. Saying how Josh Sargent was going to end us in the playoffs. Right. And then obviously we beat him 4-0 and nothing really happened. But he was bound to score eventually, wasn't he?
I must admit, as soon as he won that penalty on Tuesday night, I was like, fucking hell, Michael. I nearly put like a joke about him in the daily email on Tuesday, and I thought, no, just leave it. You're only tempting fate. But no, he went and did it anyway.
Well, speaking of American Joshes, we've had an email from an American Josh. I don't think it's Josh Sargent.
Okay.
But it says, hello, gentlemen. American supporter here. Wanted to say I resonated with Michael the other day when he was talking about the USMNT weirdos on Twitter. They make me cringe often. Don't want him to think he's battling a nation by his lonesome. Love listening to the show. My commutes to and from work makes it fly by. Hope to make it to Ellen Road in the spring. Cheers, Josh.
I'm well aware this isn't all Americans, by the way. It's a huge number of them are completely normal.
Yeah.
But yeah, there are a few quite vocal Twitter people, stroke YouTube commenters who you kind of go, it's fine, mate. Just chill out. It's not that deep.
Yeah. I'll listen to you. The youth speak.
we were just laughing about Josh Sargent not being good at one point, and that's really the top and bottom of it.
I must admit, when I was meeting Leeds fans in America this summer, I was a bit worried that they were going to be like, you're a dickhead for being mean to Jesse Marsh and slagging us off. And actually, they were all really nice and reasonable, well-adjusted people who agreed that Jesse Marsh is a dick and their national team isn't that great.
And speaking of Norwich, we did have an email from a Norwich fan as well, who I won't identify because I don't want to dox him on our podcast. But it says, hi guys, Norwich fan in peace. So that's starting off quite nicely, isn't it? Nice, friendly, hands across the ocean and all that sort of stuff. Got into listening to the show when I was hoping you'd stop Ipswich going up last season.
Sorry about that. We tried.
Which we didn't. Ipswich just needed to grow up. They spent 100 million quid and they're going to be coming back down again, aren't they?
Yeah, but they'll probably go up again then.
Love the whole real ale, almost incel vibe you guys put out. Very funny.
It's not probably the vibe we were going for. But you can get the Square Ball beer if you want that.
Yeah.
We're married.
So it's very much voluntary sell.
It was a mis-sell is what it was. So it's turned out. Rob, how are you getting on? as the youngster.
I'm just not going to answer that, I suppose.
Fair dues, yeah, no, fair enough.
Thought you were decent against us. Will go up unless injuries get in your way. Well, yeah, watch this space. The Japanese lad is absolute class. Keep up the good work.
Did you add that bit yourself?
No, genuinely said that.
Oh, okay. He was good.
Yeah, he was good. So was I thought Joe Ruffle was all right as well. There was a lot of people online. He was on for about 2 minutes. It's like, fucking hell, he's terrible, that guy. Come on, man. He's just started.
I feel like Rothwell's suffering a little bit from being... He feels like almost a bit of an afterthought of a signing because he feels like he wasn't signed to be an actual starting midfielder. He's only on loan. And people are like, he's just some fucking bloke we've got in because he's cheap.
He is...
maybe has a slight bit of truth in it, but he's also pretty experienced at this level.
He's just incredibly Bournemouth, isn't he? And he feels very this season's Jadon Anthony. But thankfully, everyone's got injured, so he might better play now.
And Rothwell Joe wouldn't normally be a first name, last name combo.
In Leeds it is.
But in Leeds it is.
I went to school with him.
Exactly. You know Rothwell, Joe, don't you? Did a bit of time. Yeah, he's troubled life.
Just a character around town.
Exactly, yeah.
He's known. Injuries-wise then, Ampadu out for 10 weeks, which is going to be Christmas. So it's going to be a New Year comeback for him.
Is it, though?
Well,
it's the classic.
Months, not years.
Doesn't need surgery.
Doesn't need surgery. 2 months down the line, yeah, he needs surgery. It's fucked.
Just like Pascal last year, wasn't it?
Yeah, does this happen at every club? It probably does. It just feels very Leedsy that we have a rumbling injury that doesn't quite get better.
Even if he doesn't need surgery, just operate on him. Just do something.
You think that's a good tactic, just to get in there, have a rummage around?
Come back with a boob job or something, yeah.
Take his wisdom teeth out.
Oh, is it Forshaw tried it, didn't he?
Exactly.
For his hip injury.
That's what I'm thinking. Get them all out. So we're going to keep taking teeth out until you're fit.
Could try. I'll see him all coming back with turkey teeth and hair.
Minot Solomon with just a full David Hopkin by the end of the season.
So Verba's gone for surgery as well. We don't know about Gruevs yet. We're recording sort of late Thursday morning, and there's been no announcement, but he's off for a scan and we don't know, and it's not looking good. None of that fills me with confidence with regards to the prognosis here.
Well, Charlie Cruz played for Wales. It'll be fine.
I mean, people are getting a bit cross about the lack of cover and stuff at this point, which is partly valid. But then you think, well, what would have happened in the Bielsa season if, well, we saw what happened when Phillips got injured. We just put centre-backs in midfield. And it wasn't like Ollie Casey played a bit and Ben White stepped forward and no one really liked that. And I don't know. You can't have like such depth in all positions that you've got like 30 senior players and everyone's unhappy because they're not playing.
But in this very specific example, if we needed, let's say, another midfielder, we know that they opted not to get one. It was laid out in black and white.
A number 10, though.
It's still a midfielder.
I think more with centre-back, because we did technically have 4 centre-backs, but one of them's Ampadu, who plays in midfield anyway. And one of them's Max Verba, who just does not want to be here, I don't think. So, yeah, another one of those might have helped. But in midfield, I think, well, we do have cover. The cover is now playing. And I think if the fifth choice midfielder is like a promising youngster who's already played internationally, yeah, let's see him.
Or it's Junior Firpo.
There is that.
Well, there's Isaac Schmidt as well, who does play everywhere and
who's
has played in midfield, but it is also a crock.
How did he get injured? He was only on the pitch for about 30 seconds.
Yeah, I was only joking last week when I said he's completely injury prone, but the evidence does seem to suggest so.
Oh. Bit unfortunate, isn't it?
Didn't look at the injury. It's on the stats, in it? Football Manager. Should have had a look.
Injury proneness. Wish we had done. With regards to stuff that's happened, just rounding up stuff from the mailbag, do you remember the email that we had in that was quite prescient, actually? It was from Ben, and we mentioned it, I think, on the show last week. Ben said, "Hi, lads, we'll be fine. Farker knows what he's doing. The best man for the job in this league. Yes, it may not be exciting, but we're getting the job done. The squad is fine and better than most in this league. Predictions for Saturday, 3-0 Leeds, Nonto, Pirro and Joseph."
It was very, very close.
Really close.
It's a hell of a prediction. He also says we're going up as fucking champions. So let's just stick with Ben.
Well, if he's nearly right for the prediction, we might take that.
I would take second.
Mailbag at thesquareball.net if you want to send Michael some hate mail or just say hi to the rest of us, whatever it is. Yeah, if you're American or whatever.
Yeah, fine.
Just ask us questions. We might answer them on the blog. Now we have some Dave Hockaday artwork to use.
One day someone's going to invite me to America and I'm going to fully David Hague it and fall into a trap. They're like, oh, it'd be a nice trip. Oh, shit.
Someone's offered me a really high-paying job. Sorry, lads, I'm off. Chris Gray, we shouldn't laugh. Chris Gray's been in touch as well, saying, I know we won 3-0 and I shouldn't moan, but watching all our shots, including the 3 that went in, they're all down the middle. So I think this is tapping into the stuff that you've been on about, Michael. I think I teased this actually on the match ball. Should we just kick it dead hard into the corner, I think is what Chris is putting forward.
You do generally need to, don't you? I know the Coventry keeper was very sympathetic to the shots down the middle, but yeah, generally speaking, I would go with that. Corner shots away from goalkeepers, unless the goalkeeper's in the corner.
Right.
In which case...
Leaning against the post, just having a fag or whatever.
Exactly.
I mean, it worked the other night for... Who did we play? Norwich? Penalty, more or less straight down the middle. We had, was it last year, Willie Nonto at Bristol City, where he just shot down the middle, goes in. I think getting it on target. There's a lot to be said for how shit the keepers are in this league.
It can be difficult if the shots are quite close to a keeper's body, because they don't... it's hard to know what bit to go with. Do you go with a leg? Do you try and adjust your body to use your hands? It's so there's a difficult closeness, although I wish Melly had saved a penalty at some stage.
It would be nice.
Well, we're heading for Sunderland on Friday. We're going to preview that perhaps a little bit more sensibly and comprehensively with Adam Pope, who's coming in to do the West Stand. We're recording that immediately after this. We'll get that out for you as soon as we can on Friday. Give it as much shelf life as possible. I want to find out what it's like as well being a commentator in a week like this when you're up and down the country, one end and the other. Carried
from one end to the other on a sedan chair on his massive BBC pay packet.
Yeah, that's it. Exactly right.
Probably. Private jet.
Yeah, they're just the BBC. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Sunderland, anyway, they've been complete dickheads again about people taking coins. You're not even allowed to take legal tender into the away end.
Yeah, this happened last year. I went to the away game last year and there was no advance warning of it, but once you were going into the ground, the stewards were taking coins, vapes, power banks, which is an odd one. Taking them off fans, albeit as I was going through, they just asked me, do you have any of these? And I said no, and they just waved me through. But I think with other people, they were like rummaging through the wallets and stuff.
They look at you, Rob, and see no threat.
Yeah, it's fine. He won't be able to reach the pitch from here.
That's like the form you used to have to sign. I know it's done online now, but when you went to America in the old days, you used to have to tick a form on the plane, didn't you? Say you weren't a
communist or a terrorist.
Weren't a terrorist and stuff. And you were like, nope, definitely not. Definitely not.
Yeah.
Am I going to come in?
Well, do you know what? I've got to be honest on this form.
So that's the clue then, the tip then, just say no, say you haven't got
say no. But do watch out for the toilets at Sunderland because last year there was a piss flood in the gents. So a friend I was with came back to our seat at half-time and says, oh, the toilets are flooded with piss. And I needed a piss. And I was like, oh, shit, I'm going to have to go down. So walked down and thankfully the urinals were below sea level by that point. But there was one member of Sunderland staff trying to vacuum it all up with a Henry Hoover. And even the Henry was sort of frowning by that point, looking pretty miserable.
Henry's a bagged Hoover. We've got a Henry. He's a bagged vacuum cleaner. Surely piss is going to just...
Yeah, I don't think it helped, but I think they were out of ideas by that point.
Right.
I think...
We've been a lot of piss chat this week on the show.
There has been. You can get... it's the Charles.
Right.
If you get the Charles Hoover, he loves piss. he laps it up. Charles is the wet and dry one.
I've just realised that I think the Henry Hoover is a very British phenomenon because they're built over here, aren't they? Remarkably cheap unit, but the bloody hell they're good.
Yeah. Well,
they're really
all
good.
Put together.
Yeah, but it's
smiley. But it's got a little smiley face.
It's got a little smiley face.
Not when it's hoovering up piss.
No, but Charles is all over it.
Yeah, the king you're talking about. Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Golden Shower Charles.
That's the one.
That's the one.
It's 150 quid anyway. If you want your own piss Hoover.
Yeah. If you want to just piss all over your own floor, it's fine.
But no, like, power banks is a weird one because power banks are not super cheap, are they?
Well, I want to speak to you about this, actually, because we've had conversations about you're a little bit of a freak for a power bank, aren't you?
I do like buying them.
Yeah. Yeah. You've got a little bit of a power bank.
Keep bringing out better ones. That's the problem.
Yeah, they keep increasing the MAs, whatever they are.
You can like...
have 20,000 of them now, and they're 40,000.
You can run a laptop off this one. Oh, that'd be good for when I never go anywhere.
You just leave your laptop in the office,
attached to a page. Don't plug it in.
Absolutely no point, is there?
No. But you are a sucker for a power bank. Have you ever gone like deep on power banks and seen how like big they can get?
Well, you can get the ones that you can plug into solar panels and stuff.
Yeah, like
you can take camping and things.
Yeah, like the Anchor ones. I think somebody should take one of those, like a massive, huge, like almost like a briefcase-sized power bank.
Yeah,
to Sunderland and see what happens. Probably get it taken off them.
Probably will get taken.
You think?
Well, it might confuse them. Might not know what it is.
Yeah.
Could say it's medical.
Right.
But yeah, like if you're going to start taking power banks, when do you stop? Do you start taking if the judge you've got too cheap of a phone? Like that's a shit phone. Like you might wang that at someone.
Yeah, I don't know. Very strange. You're going to throw it at... I was going to try and name Sunderland player then. Kevin Phillips or Niall Quinn. I don't know.
Yeah, I'd go with one of them too.
Job Bellingham.
Of course, yeah. He's got a good goal the other night, didn't he?
One for the kids there. What's your favourite power bank? Have you got a favourite in your suite of power banks?
Yeah, I've got a new one it's a good one. That's the one you can run a laptop off.
Right.
I haven't yet because why would I have to? But you can.
So,
it can fast charge 2 devices at once though. That's quite useful.
Why do you actually buy so many?
In fairness, a lot of it is because when you go anywhere with kids, it's just better so that they don't run out of charge on stuff.
God forbid you have to talk to them.
Because it's just painful.
Yeah.
If you got to the start of a 3-hour flight and they're like, "Oh, my battery's gone,"
You're in bother, aren't
you
you?
just feel like, oh, shit.
Yeah.
That's it. All ended for me. So, yeah, it's for that.
Fair enough.
Yeah. A lot of things I think in Michael's life can be traced back to what will make my life quieter.
I did, for someone who's very tight, when they were very little, I spent a phenomenal amount of money on stuff to try and make them go sleep. Swingy chairs, rocky platforms. In the end, I just had to leave the house. It's just the easiest way. Yeah.
Don't know.
Just
it's not my problem.
Just go somewhere quiet.
Super death.
I never did, to be clear.
He did. But to be fair, that's why I've got an office now.
Look, they're still alive.
Yeah.
So, done a pretty good job.
Yeah, well done. Anyway, what's this ex-player news that's on the sheet?
I just saw a picture and I was like, I don't know who this guy is.
Yeah, I've just seen this on Wacko, and I was glad that someone asked who is that, because I wouldn't have known.
Do you know who it is?
No.
Paul Huntington.
Is that Paul Huntington?
Huntington, isn't it? Yeah. Yeah, I just don't recognise his face whatsoever, and I would have assumed he quit playing 5 years ago.
Yeah,
something
he played
like
for
that.
us ages ago, didn't he?
Yeah,
like 20 years ago.
Yeah. I just couldn't believe he was still about.
It's quite exciting for me, this, because I live close to Bradford City's training ground. So there's every chance I might bump into him if ever I'm tend to put my petrol in at Sainsbury's because it's closest. Don't shop in there, fully an Aldi man. But I might bump into Hunts, yeah. Hunty.
You better hope he's got an initial tracksuit on, or you still won't recognise him in all probability. Someone I used to work with is married to a Bradford player. Just completely spotted it on her Instagram. I was like, oh.
Which one?
It's him. He's called something Byrne. I think they only signed him in summer.
Right.
Congratulations to them for their marriage over summer. It looked like a very nice wedding.
In other Sainsbury's news, I used to bump into Jermaine Beckford there all the time because he lived in the flats just down by the canal near me when he was at Leeds.
He's got to Sainsbury's, isn't he? He's not.
Oh yeah.
He's not slumming it in Aldi with you.
No, but I thought Aldi wasn't even there when Becks was.
Fair enough.
Was at Leeds, but and he's over sort of Lancashire way now, isn't he? I think sort of post Everton and that. But come back, Becks. We could. I was going to say we could meet up in Sainsbury's more, but we didn't really meet so much as I used to follow him around like a lost puppy. Should
we talk about the under-21s now?
The real Leeds update on it is today. Had Power Banks, had Sainsbury's, and Paul Huntington.
We walloped Spurs.
That was the first win of the season, and the highlights are worth watching. It was very funny. It was the Leeds' first goal. Their keeper gave it away, and because there's not really many people there, you can just hear one of Tottenham's coaches shout at their goalkeeper, who's called Aaron something. Aaron, what are you doing? Which was very nice. And then he gives away a indirect free kick, which is always very exciting.
You don't get those anymore.
No, exactly. And you just have 11.
Do you know what was it for?
I think he caught a pass back, but literally inside the 6-yard box. So you've got like 11 Spurs players just stood on the line while Leeds thump it at them, basically. Doesn't go in, sadly. And Tottenham are playing the hilariously high line that Postecoglou likes the first team to play, and they're really, really bad at it. So again, it's worth watching the highlights just for how many chances Leeds create from that.
So what you're saying is when we go up straight into the Champions League?
Seems easy enough.
Maybe.
It's funny, that Champions League, isn't it?
I'm not paying any attention.
You're not.
Stupid competition.
Right.
I did look at a little bit enviously at Villa, I have to say. Here's what you could have won. It was like,
they were behind us in the table.
Having a nice time. Fucking dickheads.
I was a bit annoyed at that, though, with how their goal was described as like a stunner and all this. And I watched it back this morning. I was like,
rubbish goalkeeper.
Keeper's just been a dickhead, hasn't he?
Yeah, absolutely miles out.
So that don't count.
Exactly. So you might be
Stop celebrating.
You're wrong to.
Yeah.
It's all about who's right.
That's why we just did polite applause when Lee Bowyer scored against AC Milan, because we recognised it was a goalkeeping error rather than a good goal.
Correct. The 21s also beat Boston in what has been termed a trademark 7-goal thriller.
Yeah, you've got to describe it as that if it's 7 goals. Again, Luka Thomas got 2. He also got 2 at the weekend. I think he's got loads of goals this season, basically. But yeah, it's a competition that basically nobody seems to want to acknowledge. Like Leeds, so it's the National League Cup, which is basically the Johnston's Paint Trophy, but with National League teams instead. But Leeds put a preview up on their website when they didn't mention when this game was being played. There's a load of like fixture websites where you can't actually find the fixtures. It's all very strange.
Yeah, I looked at...
Are they ashamed of it, Michael?
I kind of looked at the original draw of it, and I think we might be playing Halifax at some point, which would obviously be...
The West Riding Cup.
A game, well, exactly. A game that a number of Leeds fans will go to, but neither club seems to actually be talking about it. But
Right.
he said it's a group stage, and I found something that indicated we seem to be in the same group as them, but it's still top secret.
Right. Just looking at some of the attendance figures from these games, and they're all three figures.
Yeah, very much the low end of three figures as well.
I mean, like a whopping 455 people went to see Oldham Athletic 2, Stoke City under 21s.
Leeds did take more, 4, 6, 7 hour game. And from the audio of it, you can hear there are Leeds fans there. So somehow people found out about this. But yeah, Dagenham
Was it like the pre-season in Germany?
Dagenham and Redbridge 5, Spurs 5, only 184 people there for that.
10-goal thriller.
I know. And no one saw it.
Game of the season.
But yeah, it seems to be some weird... Is this part of the buy-off of no FA Cup replays and further money filtering down from the elite player performance?
More child slave labour,
thing?
basically, isn't it? Send the kids to go do the job that the adults should be doing.
Basically, yeah. They kind of think, if we get all our expensively assembled youth teams to play against some shithouses from the National League, they'll become men.
Oh, yeah, so here's your Premier League prize fund of £1 million. Is that right?
What's that, sorry?
The Premier League have provided a prize fund of £1 million for this competition.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yeah, and none of that can go to us. That's just...
I think we should have it
just
all.
for the National League.
We should get 900,000 of that.
It's a typical scraps from the Premier League table type competition.
Yeah, for a competition nobody wants and nobody wants to tell anyone about. They should tell us when we play Halifax, because
Yeah,
I wouldn't mind going to Halifax. It might be all right.
I'd go. The reserves used to play there years ago, didn't they? In the mid-90s, I'm going to say. So yeah, tell people when that is, and we'll probably sell it out, I would say.
Yeah, I probably won't actually go now I've said that, but, I might do.
If it's cold or something, won't really fancy it. Wrapping up everything else from this week, then I suppose we should rattle through quickly our likes and dislikes across the last 7 days and crown a hero and or villain of the week. Shall we? What have you liked over the last 7 days? And what have you disliked? I'd like to say the number of people who've identified the dickhead referees we've had to endure, absolutely correct. I think one or both of them, whose names are Steve Martin was one of them, the hench ref, and he could probably take me, I reckon, in a fight.
I reckon so.
But I think I'd probably be able to evade him using tactics.
Okay. They might all be fake muscles. He might have got a turkey and had them all inserted.
Right. Implants.
Potentially. Let's make the allegation.
And then worry about the consequences later. From
the likes, I quite enjoyed Dick Van Shitbitches from Coventry just for how disastrously wrong it had gone by the end of the week. He liked Joe Rodon getting back in his groove slowly. Joseph getting more and more effective each game. And Melier, his save at the end after doing naff all. Perot, another notch. What's not to like? And then...
bad thing happened.
All those things went wrong.
Watching the Norwich game, I would love to know how many times Joel Perot comes on and his first touch is to put the ball out for a throw-in. He does it so often, it's unbelievable. And it's always like just a 5-yard pass. Really simple. He's like, nah, just kick it out.
Second touch, though, back of the net, Rob. That's the important
Apart
bit.
from the other night, but yeah.
Apart from the bits that don't fit the evidence. HMS pissed PNS the league. I keep saying pissed the league whenever I read that. Ethan Ampadu's knee injury. It's specifically Ampadu's knees, I think, can...
Yeah, that's definitely the worst bit of the week. But who exactly we're giving that to, I don't know. Because if we're going to give it to Ampadu's knees, he's going to need him at some point. Unless he hasn't replaced.
Some properly low-hanging fruit here from Philip. Doesn't like Mark Robins' face.
It's fair.
Yeah, it looks so disinterested and pissed off.
We did last year rate all the championship managers, didn't we? And I think Robbins was certainly down the bottom.
Actually, it does remind me, on the members show that we're recording this week, we're starting off a project of identifying a scumface 11, aren't we? We were going through some of the names and we basically concluded it needs more research. So there's more of that on the members show. It's coming out on Sunday, if you fancy checking that out. What else have we got?
Quite like Malty saying pies in hospitality weren't bad, but then he also dislikes paying £100 for a pie and a pint in the West Stand near the away fans, which is understandable, yeah.
Feels expensive.
Dan, you need to mention Ao Tanaka.
His name's Ao, for a start.
It's not in the song, it's not.
Right.
So I'm going to go with that.
Yeah, I like what he provided this week.
Or are you in the stadium correcting people when they're singing that song?
I've started
like Frank Lampard getting all pissy about it.
No, I've started a leafleting campaign, Michael.
Farker has been calling him Ao in the presses. I don't know if that's how you meant to say it or not, but try to fit that into a song.
I think we should probably acknowledge Willie Nonto as well across the week as our new official best player.
No name on this message, but in the likes column, Wee Willie continuing to grow into the next £40 million sale for the 49ers.
Mm-hmm. There is that. Well, or depending what's in his contract,
Yeah.
maybe potentially less.
What they shook hands on might be a bit lower.
I'm seeing lots of talk of generational talent regarding Autanaka. He's good, isn't he? Yep, that's not from me. It's from other people.
I like Philip, who's gone early on it. I'm filing this 51-30 into the game. It's Gak. The ref is a character. Norwich are pish. We look like we're playing on ice skates. Gruevs banjaxed. We've no midfield for the rest of the season or something. Fuck this fucking league of shite.
Yeah, he did resubmit as well later on, but he wasn't much happier than that. So hard to cheer up.
Sam from Manchester says Borja Sainz is a hateful little prick. Yeah, I think that's a fair shout. I think for me, Borja, for not getting booked, is culpable this week as a Ken Bates villain of the week.
I would put him forward. The very last note I made on the Norwich game just says Borja Sainz is a right little character.
Yeah. But I think, is it more the referee's responsibility?
I don't know. He's not responsible for his hair and facial hair, is he? Which I had an issue with.
Right.
Very greasy looking.
Mm.
Too much grease on that head. And just a ratty little Ronaldo. It's like a sub-Ronaldo face, is what I would describe it as.
As our resident hair expert, I will take your opinion on this and add appropriate weighting.
Some people, you just look at the face and you think, what a prick.
Right.
And he's one of them. Which is a shame for him, because I'm sure he's a lovely fella.
Can we look beyond the ref?
I think I'd still give it Sainz.
You know, weirdly, I've just Googled him, and there's a photo of him from before he had that hair and facial hair, and he looks all right. Looks like a decent guy. I don't know. It's just something he's chosen to do for himself.
Does he pass the pint test when you're looking at him there?
Well, I don't know. It just looks. Yeah, he looks all right. Yeah, he looks all right when he didn't have the Brill cream.
What about dickhead referee? The condom full of walnuts.
Not go for a pint with him,
because what it'd be a pint of protein shakes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
putting raw egg in it. There's no need to eat raw egg. just cook them.
Just want a pint, mate. Come on.
Can you not fry that for me first before you put it in there?
No, I'm not going for a pint with him.
But if you were made to, so you were going out for a pint with somebody who like a mutual friend who went, oh, my mate Steve's coming along. He's a referee, but no, he's all right.
He's coming through the door and you think,
you're thinking what, sorry?
Oh, fucking hell.
Right.
He's got his whistle around his neck.
He's coming in full kit
Yeah.
into the pub.
Yeah. Flexing.
Cards in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What do you think he's drinking, apart from his protein shake? Mineral water?
Probably. Which there's nothing wrong with, in fairness. I'm not saying people have to drink, but he's also tedious company. That's what I've constructed in my head.
Right. Do you think he's drinking still or sparkling? Do you think he drinks sparkling to make himself look interesting?
Possibly, yeah. Because as well, it means when he's buying rounds, you still have to pay, even though you're like, you're having water, mate. It's free. Just have the free stuff.
Mm-hmm.
But it's
I
like,
was going to say he's not having the tap water, is he?
No, I like the sparkling.
Yeah. But he's buying for himself, but you're buying in rounds, including his.
No, but when it's his, he'll probably try and leave before it's his round.
All right. So if there are three of you in the pub, you get 2 rounds in. You're buying Steve's sparkling mineral water, and then he goes.
Yeah.
Just when it comes around to his turn.
Exactly.
What an absolute twat's trick that is.
It's awful of a minute.
I can't believe he's done that.
That's why he's villain of the week.
Is that right? Ken Bates villain of the week is
for sloping off before it's his round.
It shot round Steve, get him in. No, he's gone.
He's gone.
What an absolute twat.
What's he doing? Bicep curls.
Right.
Nice one.
Shall I tell you who's not a twat? How's that for a segue into a sponsor read? Bruce from the tuktukclub.com.
Oh, okay. I thought you meant Springsteen.
No. Although I do refer to Bruce from the tuktukclub.com as the boss.
The boss.
Yeah. He runs the Tuk Tuk Club in Northern Thailand. The best driving holiday in the world, said the Sunday Times.
Nice.
You can go explore Northern Thailand, guided by Leeds fans if you want, or you can go self-drive, see elephants, jungle. Good shit. Yeah, that's officially on the pamphlet. The tuktukclub.com and get a 15% discount on your booking if you use the code TSB15 for your Gitana Baradi Hero of the Week. They're sponsoring that, and that's good, isn't it, boys and girls?
I think probably Willie Nonto.
Yeah, definitely. He's been class. Chris wrote a blog about him this week, about him learning Latin, really, for a lot of it. But Chris has anointed him the guy who's going to drag us to promotion, which me and him were chatting about the other week, sort of saying, I'm quite optimistic about this season, but my one worry is who is going to be the Pablo of when like the pressure's on, promotion's on the line, who's going to do it? And Willie is getting that way. The way he's playing at the minute, he's just dragging us up the field, being really good. I like him.
Enabled by Outanaka.
I was going to say, I knew you were thinking that. You were thinking, well, what did Pablo have? Cool head, steely determination, under pressure, could handle the ball. There's only one replacement.
Yep.
We need two of him. That's the problem.
Do we, though?
We need one in holding midfield and one further forward.
Right.
Or Joe Rothwell can do half, but whatever. Yeah, with Nonto.
Whatever.
This is kind of what I expected of Nonto last year because he was one of our best players in the Premier League. And then we came down. I was like, oh, he'll find this league quite easy and should look like comfortably one of the best players in it. And then it just didn't particularly happen for certainly the first part of the season. And he pulled it around a bit towards the end, but he never felt quite first choice, did he, last year? Because Dan James did well and Somerville was doing well and Rutter was doing sort of half well, apart from the goal scoring bit. So yeah, never got quite established, but it's his time.
I think Yorkie Dave sums it up quite well in his likes column. We didn't appear to miss Amps and Gruev. We finally have some decent cover in midfield as long as nobody else gets injured. That's about the state of play right there, isn't it?
Yeah, we need Nonto to just like score a first half hat-trick at Sunderland and then just sub him off because we need to protect him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we should probably give credit for the midfield because they'd not played together before, have they, either, as a two, and it was for basically a whole game at a fairly tough away ground. So we did fine. It didn't look maybe quite as solid as it has with Grove and Ampadu, but it didn't look catastrophic, did it? Which we've seen many times in the past. So well done for not being awful.
Well, yeah, well done for doing your
That's
job.
some faint praise.
Well done for doing your job. Nice one, lads. So it's Willie Nonto.
I'd say so.
Yeah. And he's a good boy now. We can like him because he signed his contract.
We've not even mentioned Large either, have we? Who actually scored the goal.
Good finish.
So well done to him too, I suppose.
Yeah. Sam says largely looking sharp. He was mentioned there in his likes column. Yeah, he's slowly growing into, I think, his role here, isn't he? Because like when you watched him on YouTube, there's a lot of direct running and all that kind of stuff, dribbling. You thought, oh, this is exciting.
You might have done your scouting on YouTube. I had a far more complete picture from my research.
Which was?
Twitter.
Yeah, Twitter. Daily Motion. What, that's still going.
You've been onto his mum, Mrs. Ramazani.
Don't give him ideas. Just noting it down now.
Right, so yeah, the tuktukclub.com sponsored the Katana Baradi Hero of the Week, and it's Willie Nonto.
Willie Nonto.
Well done, Wilfred. Go up to Sunderland and score the first goal, and we'll probably be fine. We're fine when we score first, aren't we? So if we could do that every week and get out of this godforsaken land, then we'll be fine.
Yes.
Midfield or no midfield. We'll wrap it up there. We'll speak to you on Friday night on the Match Ball stream. Live for TSB Plus members. Look out for it in your feed on Saturday if you're not a member, and we'll catch you soon.
The Square Ball Podcast.